Dear children, we were studying transcription. So I have already explained you about the transcription, isn't it? What is transcription? It is the copying of information from DNA to RNA, isn't it? And I told the difference between replication, even though they are entirely different process. One is the copying mechanism and the other is the process by which RNA is formed from DNA. Understood? These two processes are entirely different. Okay, and when you see the processes, you can see that in transcription only one strand of the DNA will be copied and a particular segment, not the whole length of the DNA. Understood? And the strand which is transcribed is known as the template strand. Okay, and the other strand which is not transcribed is known as the coding strand. Okay, so I told why these two strands are not, what is the difficulty in transcribing both the strands, because if both the strands are transcribed, what will happen? The RNA is formed will be complementary to each other and they will pair, and the proteins formed from this will be entirely different, isn't it? So I have already explained that in the class. Now I have to start with transcription unit. What do you mean by transcription unit? It is the what unit where transcription takes place. And if you see the transcription unit, it will have a promoter region, a structural gene and a terminator gene. The enzyme that is needed for the process is DNA dependent RNA polymerase. Okay, so in replication, which is the enzyme that is DNA dependent DNA polymerase, their new DNA strand is synthesized, but here new RNA strand is synthesized. So here the enzyme is DNA dependent RNA polymerase. Why it is called DNA dependent? Because here the polymerases add the nucleotides according to the information that is present in the DNA. Understood? By reading the information of DNA, RNA is synthesized. Okay, so as we know, there are two strands in DNA. One is in the 5'3' direction and the other is in the 3'5' direction. Okay, so the strand which is in the 3'5' direction acts as the template, and that is known as the template strand. Okay, and the other one which is in the 5'3' direction is acting as the, or it is known as the coding strand. Okay, actually it doesn't code for anything, but still it is called as the coding strand. Okay, so you can see here this two strands of DNA is shown here. One is in the this direction, 3'5' direction, and the other is in the 5'3' direction. Okay, now you see here, you can see that the base pairs are A, T, G, C, A likewise, and here it will be complementary. Understood? Now you just try to find out the two RNAs, okay, which can be formed if both the strands are transcribed. Understood? Just write and see whether both are same or different, and whether they are complementary or not. So you please find it out. Okay, now I told you about the transcription unit, isn't it? So transcription units diagram, it can be asked. So this was asked once, so please practice this. That is the promoter region, always you can find in the 5' end of the coding strand. So you will keep in mind that we will make all the reference in accordance with the coding strand. So coding strands 5' end. Okay, you can see the promoter region. Okay, then you can see the structural gene that has to be transcribed. Okay, and then the terminator region, which will be seeing to the 3' end of the coding strand. Is it clear? Before explaining the process of transcription, let's see what is the special structures of transcription unit. Okay, so a transcription unit, I told it will have a promoter region, then structural region and the terminator region, isn't it? Now the promoter region, okay, is a DNA sequence that helps to attach the RNA polymerase to it. and the process I will tell you after completing this. Okay, so genes means, what is the definition of a gene? Gene is the functional unit of inheritance, you can say, isn't it? So they are located in DNA, and what if the DNA sequence that codes for tRNA or rRNA, that is also known as gene only. So a more another term, okay, that is a cistron. Cistron can be what, the segment of a DNA that codes for a polypeptide. Understood? So gene means it's the functional unit, and some as you know, genes may not be present one after the other, means all the nucleotides of a gene may not be present together. It may be finding in different places, or at least or even in different chromosomes. So more adequately we can call the functional or the part of the DNA which is able to produce a polypeptide chain as a cistron. Okay, so a cistron can be monocistronic, okay, like in eukaryotes. Means here the cistron which can be able to produce only a polypeptide chain, understood, is called as a monocistronic. But in prokaryotes, okay, you can see polycistronic, means many structural genes. So the difference between eukaryotes and prokaryotes in their cistron is what? In eukaryotes they are having what? Monocistronic. Okay, means only one polypeptide chain will be means produced by a single cistron. But in prokaryotes they are polycistronic, means many peptides can be produced. Understood? So another speciality of eukaryotic cistron is, okay, I told it is monocistronic. Then another speciality is they are having split condition, or they are in the split condition, that is they contain both exons and introns. So exons are what? The coding sequences, that is in a particular nucleotide sequence or in a DNA there are many sequences which are not coding, okay, and there are sequences which are coding. Coding means which is able to produce the proteins. Okay, so some genes or some nucleotide sequences that are expressed or they are able to produce proteins are known as exons, and the other ones which are not able to express are known as introns. So in eukaryotes you can see what this condition you can see, that is split gene arrangement, means in that both exons and introns are intervened. One by means exons will be there, then introns likewise they are found in the genes, understood, or in the DNA, understood. So introns or intervening sequences, they won't appear in the processed RNA. After RNA formation, processing is done, that I am going to tell you. So that is introns will not appear in the mature or processed RNA. Okay, then so what we have studied now is cistron. So what is cistron? Is a segment of DNA that codes for a polypeptide gene, understood, and I told it can be polycistronic or it can be monocistronic. So monocistronic where you can see in eukaryotes, okay, and in prokaryotes it will be polycistronic. Okay, many means they are not distinguished each other. Many polypeptides chain can be produced by the same cistron, understood, and the monocistronic DNA of eukaryotes also has what? Exons and introns. What are exons? They are the coding sequences, and introns are the non-coding sequences. Okay, so this much is very clear to everyone. Now let's go to the next topic, that is types of RNA and the process. Process I'll teach you at the last. Okay, so what are the different types of RNAs? You would have heard mRNA, isn't it? Then tRNA and rRNA. So these are what the major three kinds of RNAs. mRNA means what? They are the messenger RNA. tRNA is the transfer RNA and rRNA is the ribosomal RNA. Okay, so all these are needed for the process of transcription and translation also. Okay, so mRNA means for the translation they are needed. Transcription, by the process of transcription they are all formed. Okay, so mRNA forms the template. Okay, and tRNA brings the amino acid from the, so where the protein synthesis takes place? In the ribosome, isn't it? So from the cytoplasm, tRNA picks up the amino acids, okay, and bring to the where to the ribosome, and it also reads the genetic code. Okay, that I will tell you what is genetic code later. That is the sequences of nucleotides in mRNA. Okay, is called what? Genetic code. So that the tRNA reads that, and at the same time it brings the amino acids from the cytoplasm to the ribosomes. Okay, rRNA. What is the function of rRNA? They are forming the structural and catalytic role. Means the rRNA is found in the ribosomes, and also they help in the process of translation. Okay, so that's what it also shows, catalytic function. Understood? Catalytic and structural role that is done by rRNA. Okay, and when you compare prokaryotes and eukaryotes, in eukaryotes, okay, there are 3 RNA polymerases. Okay, I told, see, that is in prokaryotes there are only 1 RNA polymerase, that is there for all the tRNA, rRNA and mRNA to get translated. Okay, but in eukaryotes there are 3 different types of what? There are 3 different types of RNA polymerases. Okay, they are that is RNA polymerase 1, okay, that transcribes rRNA. Then next is RNA polymerase 2, okay, RNA polymerase 3, that is needed for the transcription of RNAs like tRNA, 5S RNA, snRNA, etc. And RNA polymerase 2 is the what transcribes, that is needed for the transcription of mRNA. Understood? So the difference between these two, that is eukaryotes and prokaryotes, is in prokaryotes there is only 1 RNA polymerase for transcribing all the RNAs. But in eukaryotes, I told RNA polymerase 1, okay, that transcribes the RNAs like, okay, the 28S, 80S and 5.8S RNAs, okay, and then what? The RNA polymerase 3 is needed for transcribing tRNA, 5S rRNA, okay, SN RNA. These are what? Small nuclear RNAs. Understood? So these are transcribed by polymerase, RNA polymerase 3, and RNA polymerase 2 is needed for the transcription of RNA, mRNA. Okay, mRNA is transcribed by which polymerase? The RNA polymerase 2. So that is the difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Okay, in their RNA polymerases. Now next is what? The second complexity, that is the RNA which is formed from formed in eukaryotes. Okay, they have to undergo a special process called splicing. Okay, so what is splicing? That is the removal of the introns Okay, I told the cistrons are having introns and exons, and introns are non-functional. Okay, so this has to be cut. Okay, that process is known as splicing. So splicing is necessary where? In eukaryotes, but there is no need of splicing in prokaryotes as they are not having any introns. Understood? Then so that particular RNA which is not spliced and modified is known as hnRNA. Okay, here we have seen. Okay, the precursor of mRNA is known as what? The heterogeneous nuclear RNA, hnRNA, that contains both introns and exons. Is it clear? Then another process that has to be undergone after the formation of the mRNA is capping and tailing. Okay, capping and tailing. Okay, so in capping, that is transcription takes place where? In the nucleus, isn't it? So in the nucleus, DNA, when it is transcribed, the first, you remember, isn't it? Like adenylate acid. Likewise, what the nucleotides you have learned, isn't it? Ribonucleotides are there. So methyl guanosine triphosphate is a unusual nucleotide, and that will be added to the 5' end. Okay, in tailing what happens? In tailing, polyadenylate residues, okay, will be added. Means where? In which end? In the 3' end. A number of adenylate residues will be added. So these processes are known as capping and tailing. Understood? So this can be asked as a separate question. What is that? What are the additional complexities? Okay, that has to be undergone. Okay, or what are the what are the processing that has to be done in an hnRNA before it matures into an mRNA. Understood? So the capping, tailing and splicing. Is it clear? Now let's study the process of transcription. And I told for transcription to take place. Where transcription takes place? In the transcription unit. What are the parts of transcription unit? A promoter site, a structural gene, and the terminator region. Isn't it? Now, the transcription process takes place with the help of an enzyme called DNA dependent RNA polymerase. I have already told you. And then you say that the transcription takes place only in one strand. That strand is called the template strand, which is in the 3' 5' direction. Okay, and the other strand will not be coding or will not be acting as the template, and that is known as the coding strand, which is in the 5' 3' direction. Okay, now transcription takes place by 3 different steps. First is initiation, second is elongation, and the third is the termination. Understood? So during initiation, what happens is the RNA polymerase will come and join to the promoter site. Okay, in the promoter site it binds, and the polymerase binds to the promoter region, and some sigma factors are also helping this RNA polymerase to initiate the process of transcription. Understood? So transcription is initiated when a small part of DNA opens, okay, and into the promoter site of the template strand, the RNA polymerase get attached with the help of certain initiation factors called sigma factors. You can see here. Okay. Then next what happened? The opening and the other processes are done with the help of RNA polymerases itself. Okay. It opens the DNA double helix and it moves through the the structural genes. As it moves through the structural genes like this, you can see that RNA will be here. You can see in the this. Okay, this is the RNA that will be formed. Okay, nucleotides, ribonucleotides will be added. Understood? According to the complementarity, means if there is A here in the RNA, what will be added? U will be added. Okay, if it is T, then A. Likewise, the RNA polymerase continuously adds the nucleotides, and when this RNA polymerase reaches to the terminator site, some factors, okay, called Rho factors will go and join, and the RNA polymerase will get detached, okay, and you can see the RNA will get released, and the Rho factor and the RNA polymerase also will get detached, and the process of transcription stops. Okay, so this takes place locally. This diagram is also important, it can be asked. Okay, so this transcription takes place by 3 steps. What are they? Initiation, elongation, and transcription. Okay, so in your textbook the information is mixed here and there. Okay, so if the transcription process is asked, you will have to explain that takes place. What is transcription? You have to give the definition of transcription, then you have to say only one strand is transcribed, okay, and then you have to say the transcription takes place in a transcription unit, and that will have a promoter region, a structural region, and a terminator region. Then you will have to say how it initiates. When the RNA polymerase with the help of sigma factors binds to the promoter region, opening a small part of the DNA will get opened, okay, and that initiates the transcription process. Okay, then elongation, what you will say? You can see that the RNA polymerase keeps on adding the RNA nucleotides, ribonucleotides, okay, according to the complementarity, means the which base pairs are there, the complementary base pairs will be added to the RNA, so that the RNA chain's length will increase. And when it will be stopped? When the RNA polymerase reaches to the terminator region, some factors called Rho factors will join, and that will help in the detachment of this RNA polymerase from the terminator region, and the RNA, which is newly synthesized RNA, will be released. Okay, so that ends the process of transcription. And during this, the RNA formed is the hnRNA. Okay, and this hnRNA will undergo splicing, capping, and tailing. Understood? So that it will be converted to an mRNA. Is it clear? So these are the topics that we have to study here. So in this, so many questions are there in between the lines, so you please go through that. Okay, what are the difference between exons and introns, then how the cistern of prokaryotes and eukaryotes are differing, the process of transcription, explain the process of transcription, what are initiation factors and termination factors. Clear? Then what are the additional complexities that are found in eukaryotes? Okay, that is the presence of 3 different types of RNA polymerase, okay, to polymerize the different RNAs. Okay, then the process of splicing, capping, tailing, etc. Okay, so all this are different subtopics. You go through that thoroughly, and we will meet in the next class. Thank you.